Morning, good morning, good morning, you beautiful people. Really sorry if that sound is awful. Guess what? Guess what? I fixed my tiny mic. And I know y'all knew that because I wrote about it in my other video or whatever. I feel so far away from you guys. I need to get closer. But my mom got me this pretty cool little ring light, right? But it's really big. I can't even take the camera off to show you how big it is because it's set up. And the last time I was fucking around with my equipment, I broke my microphone and didn't work my last video. So I'm not trying to do that again because I like my baby microphone. But happy 2024. Happy New Year. You. Um, whatever. It's just another day. Just Saturday. Um, but I don't know, it should come to no surprise. It should come as no surprise that I don't have talking points today. This is blank. Just because I was like, I know I'm going to come and record this video Saturday morning because I'm being busy on Sunday and we're going to figure it out like I always do. But of course, I've been just in my feels, just feeling weird after the new year and all that shit. And I think that that's kind of maybe where we're all at right now, or at least a good part of us, where we're just like, oh, it's the new year. What did I even do in 2023? And some people might have different stories. And I'm like, oh my God, I was so successful and I had so many cool trips and blah, 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 blah. But I did not. And that's okay because this year I could change that. I can make all my dreams come true this year if I want to. But that's the problem. We have to focus and actually want to change our lives. And I think that that's the hard part that a lot of us don't do is oh, I want to be healthier and I want to lose weight and I want to have a better job and have more money, but it's we don't do anything to actually get to that. And I think that's silly. But I also think that's why so many of us remain stagnant and so many of us stay, I don't know, in these places that we're unhappy at. And I think that a big part of it is that we just need to do it. There's the only excuses that we have is that we're not doing it. And that's not a good excuse because they're like, oh, okay, why are you struggling financially? Why don't you have a better job? It's because I haven't found a better job. Not that they're not out there, because they are. They just, you have to create the opportunity for yourself. And I think that that's the hardest part. I've done a lot of changing in my life. I've lived a lot of lives, in my 30 years that I've lived a really good church going, God fearing woman, twice a week, every week for years. A party girl who was just doing hella drugs from anybody all the time. I've become a homebody now. You know what I mean? I've lived a lot of lives. I've lived a life where I was a recluse and all I did was work out and then I fucking won a trophy in a bodybuilding competition. You know what I mean? So it's we're all capable to make changes, but we have to do it. And that's the hardest part is that we don't want to. It's really hard to change. It's uncomfortable. So many other reasons, but it's but aren't you uncomfortable now? Aren't you unhappy now? What's the difference between you being unhappy now in this situation and uncomfortable versus you being uncomfortable in a situation to make yourself happier and to build yourself a better life? I'll wait. There's not a difference. And I think that that's kind of where I've been at this year in the 6 days. I think it's 6 days. In the 6 days that we've had so far in 2024 of just like, all right, I'm not gonna be mean to myself. I'm not gonna, like tear myself down. The fact that I like been wanting to work out since the beginning of the year and I still haven't. But I have made changes that are setting myself up for success. So far I've been like running with my dog in the morning when I walk him, and that's not normal because I haven't ran with the dog in a long time. He gets walked every day mostly, but I've been running with him now, and I feel like that is like my first step to be like, okay, bitch, like get back to it. Start doing your shit again. You know what I mean? Like stop being lazy. Man, I just like this angle. I'm scared I'm gonna break this thing. There's another little thing to like move it around and stuff, like, but it just, we're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work. But I just have some like all this stuff. This is like another tripod. Something my sister gave me. Like a lot of moving parts. A lot of moving parts. But I really like this one because it's like got like tentacle legs, so you could like wrap it on a pole or something. I know people are gonna take that weird. I meant like at the gym, fucking weirdos. But whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Like, like I said, I don't have anything on topic to talk about. But I have been wanting to like move differently this year. And I think that I'm like starting to. I've been planning my meals and not like trying to eat everything in sight, as soon as I buy it from the grocery store, because those new snacks, they be tasting extra good as soon as you buy them from the grocery store. But it's baby steps, and it's also like the decision to change your mind. And that's like the hardest part, is that like change is so hard, change is so scary, and we're all so nervous to be like, well, things are okay now, things are good now. What if I change things and then they're bad and things are worse and I'm more miserable? Okay, yeah, that is a possibility. What if they are bad? But what if you do things to change your life and you're uncomfortable, and then you're the happiest you've ever been and the best you've ever been and the most successful you've ever been and the most secure financially and emotionally and spiritually, everything. What then? What then? You're so scared of the bad what ifs, but what about the good what if? What if it fucking works? What if you fucking rock it? What if you kill it and it's the best decision you've ever made? What then? I'm not gonna lie. When I was like waking up and looking at myself in the mirror before I got on, because I sometimes will do that, and I was like, meh, good enough. But I was also like, ooh, my skin, ooh. So I was like, you see this little pimple, like a little fucking nasty up here. Yeah, skin's not doing too hot. It's because I'm like starting to eat healthier things, and my body's like, what the fuck, expelling everything. Um, but this light's doing pretty good. The hair's not, but the light is. um, thanks, mom. um, but yeah, I don't know. It's just like it's hard. It's hard to change. It's hard to change. It really is. It's really, really hard. And like this is why we don't do it, because it's hard and it's scary, and those what ifs are very powerful. But then it's like, bro, like there's only so much time on this earth, on this planet. Like, why are you going to spend it being miserable and unhappy? And that's my real question. It's like, why are we going to spend all of our time being miserable and unhappy when life is so short? We could literally go to the store and die in a car crash on our way. And, the next energy set or whatever happens, you can literally sit there with just regret and guilt of just like, whoa, bro, why was I just such a puss? Why was I such a scaredy baby? For what? Yeah, it could be bad, but what if it could be great? I was talking to somebody this past week, and before this part of my life, um, and I feel like for a good majority of my life, I have not been very financially secure. Um, for a long, 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 long time in my life, I have been living paycheck to paycheck and having no savings and having no money to do anything really. And thankfully, you know, I've been able to do a lot of things and see a lot of things and have a lot of experiences, even though I haven't had the money to have those experiences, like by my own hand. I've been very fortunate, very grateful. And I feel like even in this past year, that's changed, and it's not that I'm like way more well off, way more finances, but my mindset around my money has changed. Everyone's like, well, how are you going to afford that? How are you going to do that? It's like, everything works out for me. I'm super lucky and everything works out for me, and it's going to work out. I don't know how that money's going to get there. I don't know how that trip is going to be happening, but it's going to happen. And I believe that. And since I've made that mindset shift, I haven't really had to worry about money. And not to say that I don't worry about it, not to say that it's not a concern, not to say that it's not something that I'm very wary about. But just because of this shift in my mindset, things have changed. And that's what they say. That's what, you see on Instagram and TikTok and, whatever, like, oh, well, I just changed my mind to a billionaire mindset. And then, after a couple months, I was just starting to rake in the money and da 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 da. It's like when you start changing your mind, your door's open. The door's open. The door's open for you. When I started taking my health seriously, this was quite a few years ago when I was bodybuilding. But when I started taking my health seriously, I was in the gym very, very seriously. And I met my partner, and he was bodybuilding, and he gave me a lot of knowledge, and he gave me, the oomph essentially to like do it. Some shit went down. We didn't end up being together during that time, but it still opened that door for me. It still gave me that opportunity, but it's just because I'd changed my mind about it. Years before, I was always saying shit like, oh, I could never be one of those bikini bodybuilding girls. Like, I could never be on stage in a bikini like that, blah, 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 blah. Now I'm over here considering my second one. It's been a couple years since I've stepped out in retirement, but maybe. Mm. It's exciting. It's exciting. So this year we're probably gonna go back to it, but just because the mind is shift for it. Like, I'm hungrier for it now. I want to see those changes again. Um, when I got my beautiful little animal, he's not, I don't know where he's at, but he's not here right now. When I got my little baby doggy, that's when my life changed again, and I stopped, doing my bodybuilding like focus and really focus on like just trying to like be living and shit like that. But I think like it's time again, and since now my mind is kind of on there, I'm like, you know what? Might as well. I just told my 67 YouTube subscribers that I'm probably going to do a bodybuilding competition this year. So I got to now. Or people are going to call me out in 6 months like, I thought you were going to train for a bodybuilding competition. Why don't you shut up? Why don't you shut up and like my video? Why don't you shut up and make a comment? How about that? I actually did have somebody do that to me, when I went on like a little 8-week health journey. It didn't work out. I didn't work out, but he sent me a screenshot of this thing I posted and was like, so it's been 8 weeks. Where are you at? And I was like, wow, that's fucking rude. Yeah, definitely. So not going to do that again. August or November, looks like we're coming. Shit. I don't really think anybody knew me except my family that watches me now when I was competing. And for that, I'm very sorry for the woman that you're going to get to know over these next couple months, because she's not the best. She looks fucking amazing, but she's not the best. Y'all, it's 2024. The fuck are we doing? I think I've said probably for the last 5 videos that I'll have like an actual topic of conversation, and I haven't, and I'm really sorry, you guys. Maybe next week. Maybe next week. But I just feel like I haven't found anything like topically that I want to like discuss in this much depth. And I have a lot of like things that I could talk about, but I don't know. It's just nothing that's like feeling like the oomph. Um, but one thing is, since I started talking about working out, work out your legs, people. Even if you're just at home doing some squats on the couch, if you have a set of stairs, if you're doing like some leg lifts and stuff like that, like step ups, like work out your legs because your legs build the most testosterone, and testosterone is what burns the most fat and builds the most muscle. So, for all you chicken leg boys out there, build your legs more than once a week. God, you guys are so fucking whack. You'll work your upper body 6 days a week and barely touch your legs. Do squats and freaking leg press and be like, oh, yeah, I'm good. Bro, you're not doing anything and your butt looks like a freaking pancake. So that's all. I'm going to leave you with that video, with that visual of pancake booty. So make sure that you work out your legs. Happy Saturday, y'all. Love you.